Howdy, this is Daniel. I want to give you guys a shop tour so you can see exactly what I'm working with and maybe give you some inspiration on something in your own shop. Let's get started. So this will be real easy. We start out with my wood storage. Of course, that's a heater I just installed for the winter. But I've got all my storage up there. That's where I keep my, my drying. It's basically my drying rack. Usually I buy material from a local lumber yard and I need to get it cleaned up or dried first. For example, those pieces of walnut up at the top have been up there for a few months and they should be ready. Looks like one of them's curling a bit, but once I get it, take that down, once it's done, I'll join it and plane it and get it all cleaned up. And eventually it hits this rack. You'll notice a few pieces in there from the boot construction, but over here we've got a bunch of walnut for Christmas presents and such, some cabinets for storage, miter station, along with some additional, another vacuum cleaner down there, or shop vac. Got my sanding station here. I often switch the hose from the miter saw over to the sander when needed. Some initial stuff here, or another cabinet here for mostly CNC materials. Paint storage. Let's see, we swing over to the right, and then we've got some long-term storage, boxes and other stuff I don't use quite as often. I'm pretty tall, so just jumping on a simple step stool let me reach all of that stuff up there. I have my cabinet, or my workbench, the main workbench. This is where I have much of the this is basically my junk storage. Anything that comes into the garage usually sits there for a while. Of course, I have the my charging and my drills and that sort of thing on here. I still need to mount a couple of things up here on my wall. Got the old and new sockets with both bracketing systems, so I can do some comparisons and some measurements and understandings. Let's see, of course, I've got my CNC computer running here. It's just a Skull Canyon Nook sitting there in the back. I still need to mount it. Have my laptop, which I do most of my design work on, as well as communication, of course. Some seating, some trash, some spare wood, various tools and that sort of thing sitting in here. Along with a gigantic slat wall I rarely use. Really need to build some cabinets or something to help with storage. Fan, nice little drill station there. My air compressor's down there, which leads up here to a little extension cord that I can then pull over to my work area. Panning over here to the right, of course we've got some visibility, some junk storage. Well, not junk storage, signage, old signs that have kind of part of projects or old blades or whatnot. Clamp storage. Let's see. Of course, over here is my dust collector with the Oneida, the Super Dust Deputy. It's hooked up. I've got it pulled down now. I'm actually emptying it. There's a lot of I've already filled it up, and my indication for that is typically all of that dust sitting there in the bottom of the bag. So I get the joy of pulling the bag off to clean it all up. Of course, I keep my table saw under here, underneath the little makeshift table shelf there. Keeps it nice. Let's see, of course I have my dust collector mounted way up there in the top corner. Some overhead storage for various things. I've got some additional storage, some additional clamps. Eventually I'll put a nice little table or something jetting out from the wall here, maybe for move the sanding station over there so it's closer to the doors. Let's see, up here in the middle, of course I have my CNC JS Raspberry Pi sitting here. I took it off, I need to remount it. Let's see, comes down here. Yeah, so that's the big tour. And maybe we'll, or I guess I've got a couple of videos I'm shooting today, so hopefully, here, let's see if I can do this. There. So I've got a couple of videos I'm shooting today, installing my dust boots on both carriages. maybe I can do a couple other videos and get all that content together so that you guys can actually have some good information for installing your own boots. Talk to you later.